We have got to get a sound engineer in this basement.
Yeah.
Every single video, there's people complaining about the audio.
Really?
Every single video. But then I listen to it and it sounds okay.
What do we need to do?
I don't know.
Something
with this thing down here.
I'm not a
techie.
Does red mean go or green?
Red is recording, so it's recording right now.
And green is
not recording.
red is stop though.
Yes.
Green means go, but in this case it's the opposite.
Exactly.
But when the red light's on, that means you're on the air.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of King of the Court. We are your hosts, Tyler and
Jimmy Miller.
Oh, you have to talk into the mic at all times, even if you look at me.
I just feel like I look at you.
Even if you
look
at me.
I stay off the comments because people are mean and I'm sensitive in my old age. Just kidding, I'm not. But I like to look at the person I'm talking to. I feel like it's just common courtesy. But in the podcasting world, that's not okay.
Not okay.
Maybe we need like a different setup where we're staring at each other.
Exactly.
Right.
Soon, one day.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We could potentially have a 5-hour-long podcast today.
It's possible.
There is so much to go over, and we are thrilled to be here with you. Jimmy, a lot of Jimmy fans in Arizona, in Mesa, Arizona, a lot of KOTC shirts and Where's Jimmy shirts.
Love it.
And they were, Jimmy was not to be found out there in
Our
Mesa.
girl, I actually went to let me tell you a little story, fun story.
Story time.
Start. I'm a little lighter in the pocket. You know, I had we'll talk about it, but got fined by MLP. It's a little lighter, but
By
also
Major League Pickleball?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I went to we had a 7-on-7 tournament. A team I coach had a 7-on-7 tournament in Mesquite, Nevada. And it's like the biggest one in the country. There's like 1,000 teams.
I feel like you say that about every tournament.
No, this was massive. Like seriously, it's insane. But so on my way down there, or on my way after our first day, anyone who's been to Mesquite, right? Like you've been. So you go between Mesquite and St. George, and there's a stretch of probably 10 to 15 miles where there's nothing, and it's all desert. I got a flat tire.
In the Tesla?
No,
Okay.
my Lexus.
Okay.
Middle of the desert. But here's the thing. I was headed north away from Mesquite, and last time I put tires on my car, I got those run flats. And dude, I turned around through the median illegally and started headed back to Mesquite, and I was about 8 miles away. And those run flats worked right until I was about maybe like 0.2 miles from the tire shop, and then all of a sudden it was like thump, 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 thump. But I made it without having to put on the spare, nothing. And then of course, because my car, it's all-wheel drive and the tires are bigger on the back, you got to get 4 new ones. And then of course, because I'm in the middle of the freaking desert, the 4 new ones are literally thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And then because I have nothing else to do, I sit there for 3.5 hours.
So moral of the story, Jimmy is loaded.
No, Jimmy is lighter in the pocketbook.
Oh,
And then
Jimmy.
I got a crack in my windshield.
Yeah.
They're rough.
That's an old car. You got to get a new one.
Yeah.
Jimmy, tell the story of the St. George, of the person wearing the Where's Jimmy shirt.
Oh, yeah. I was in St. George, and this was a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just sitting there and...
Not at pickleball course, just totally random.
Yeah, totally random. I was actually just sitting...
Like in a clubhouse or something like that.
Yeah. And some lady walks in with a Where's Jimmy shirt. And I'm like looking, and I'm like... And I actually said hi to her, and she didn't know who I was. Had no idea. And then her husband's like, "That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy." She had no clue who I was. No idea. So clearly he made her wear the shirt. But I thought that was pretty cool. In the wild.
Yeah.
Tyler, in the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also another quick. So we play the 7-on-7 tournament.
It's just story time today.
Yeah, it's fun. We had nothing else to do. Look, I've got nothing to do. I can't leak anything anymore, or I'll get fined for it. So, so the team I coached are a bunch of 10-year-olds. Okay, we played up to 12U because we kind of dominate 10U. We're pretty good, but there's only like 6 teams in 10U, so we wanted to challenge ourselves. So there's 40 teams in 12U. Not kidding you. Very first game, Our team is tiny, even for 10-year-olds, like 10 and 11-year-olds. First game, we play this team from Hawaii. Kid walks out, Tyler, I promise.
Tattoos?
No, but this is not an exaggeration. He is 6'2", lefty, throws the ball freaking 90 miles an hour, like just rockets, massive kid.
I feel like there may have been an exaggeration.
No, I promise. I will show you a picture. So then we actually beat him. We crushed that team. We win our pool. We win our first 2 games the next day. We get to the semifinals, quarterfinals, semifinals, and we play the number 1 team in the country from Texas. Okay? They walk out. This is no joke. This team walks out, and they have a speaker, right? And the speaker is playing Not Like Us. And it's loud, and they have all these chants, and these boys, there's not a kid on that team that's under 5'5". Massive grown men. Okay, 12-year-old grown men. This is not an exaggeration. And they do this chant, and at the end of the chant, they say, "You're not like us," and they point at our team. Like literally, like from me to you, point at our team. And they won the battle right there.
Yeah.
Right? So then, and I'm going to show you this picture of this kid. So then we play, and
You're taking pictures of kids?
No, I actually took it off of one of their like web pages just to show you how big this kid is. I don't know if we're allowed to post it because you can't post pictures of other people's kids, right? But anyways, we ended up playing and we lost. I think we lost. That kid's 12 years old, bro. Right? He looks like a grown man, does he not?
A little bit.
Okay, thank you. Anyways, we ended up. Their whole team looked like that, all of them.
Okay.
So anyways, we ended up losing. But like you play on a 40-yard field and then a 10-yard end zone. This kid, like just with a flick, is throwing 50 yards. It was incredible. Like they're just different. They say everything's bigger in Texas. The team they're from Houston.
What was the final score?
14-0, which wasn't bad because they were putting up 40 on every single team. Problem is I'm not even sure we had a first down in the game. I mean, They were. Anyways, good weekend. That's why I wasn't in Mesa. I missed Mesa. I got a couple. Our girl Gloria was there. Gloria came from like North Dakota.
Yeah.
Right? Or South Dakota?
I think South.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, this Gloria right here.
Yes. Yeah. She's
Pudgy.
awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Story time is over for now.
Sorry.
Thank you to our title sponsor of this podcast, King of the Court podcast, The Picklr. We love The Picklr. They are everywhere. They're opening up new locations. How many do they have open at this moment? Do you know?
Their goal, they said that they're hoping to hit their 60th open by their 60th anniversary of pickleball, which is coming up.
Cool.
So they're getting close.
Yeah. Anyways, if you're interested in joining a club, go reach out to the Picklr. Chances are they will have a club if they don't already have a club near you. Also, if you're interested in franchising your own locations, reach out to them. There's tons of locations available. Tell them that the guys at KOTC sent you. There is no better business opportunity than the opportunities within pickleball.
Yeah, I mean, they have, like, the other thing that I love is, they have like the Ernie ball machines in there.
Yeah. They have everything.
Yeah, that you can go use. I mean, I've talked about, a pro player went and played I think it was a Scottsdale one, and said it was the nicest indoor facility he's ever been in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many things with the Picklr that they do well, and now they're opening everywhere.
Yeah.
So go check
I always
them out.
say this, once you start playing indoors, it is difficult to play outdoors.
Yes.
Thank you, Picklr, for sponsoring this podcast. Also, Pickleball Central, the largest online retailer, the number 1 online retailer in the entire world with all things pickleball, pickleball paddles, pickleball bags, pickleball balls.
Pickleball balls.
Pickleballs. Anything you need, they will have it. And you can use code KOTC0225 for the best discount available. Thank you, Pickleball Central, for your support.
3 people texted me this weekend asking me about our KOTC code at Pickleball Central.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Everybody loves.
Last but not least, Holey. We came out with an exclusive, a limited edition flavor with Holey, and it is white gummy. What flavor is white gummy for those that might not know?
Well, according to Canadians, it's called Freezy or something.
Okay, but according to you, what is it?
We the North.
Okay.
White gummy, I think it's got a little bit of a tropical.
It's like a tropical pineapple.
Pineapple. Yeah.
Banana.
Like, do you remember when you were a kid and you would get like a soda, and we called it I don't even think we can use the word that we used to call it, but I'm going to. We used to call it a suicide.
Okay.
And you would put every single flavor in it.
Yep.
Except you'd always skip iced tea. Did you put iced tea in it?
Never put iced tea.
Yeah, iced tea's gross. But you'd put every single flavor in it. That's what the white gummy reminds me of, but it reminds me of with all the tropical flavors.
Yep.
If you put all the juices in it, it tastes so good.
Use our code. They are actually doing a promotion for us. We get double the commission if you use our code KOTC at holeyperformance.com. And there may or may not be a little bit more savings for those that are using the code this week.
I thought it was. Let me double check.
There should be. You want to hear a funny story?
No. Double the discount.
Double the discount as well.
We don't get double commission, dog.
Oh, we don't?
We don't get jack.
Well, then.
So we're passing on our double commission to these guys.
Oh, I thought we got double commission.
So it's double the discount.
Okay.
So Tyler's kids may not eat, but you guys, for this week, they're doubling our code site-wide. So if you've been thinking about trying it, try it. Our code will work for double. Just for the next 7 days, I believe.
Yeah.
So now's the time.
Go check it out. Thank you for the support, Holey. You want to hear a funny story? So when we went up to my parents' house the other day, and I walk inside the house, and there were 4 packages that my mom had purchased with our code.
What a bad... Your mom is amazing.
I'm like, Mom, I could have probably gotten you those for a slight...
Thank you.
A better discount.
Shelly, thank you. You know I knew your mom before you.
That is true, yeah.
I played pickle with her once.
Yeah.
She's a good pickleball player.
She is. That's where I got it from.
She plays a lot. Does she still?
Not as much.
Oh.
Avid fan, but not.
She used to be a diehard. I love that she bought it though and supported you.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, honestly. Yeah.
So thank you for all those that have purchased it. Continue to do it. It helps us, and you're getting incredible
it's
products,
wild because
electrolytes.
They just sent us a notice. We only sold like 5, and your mom bought 4 of them. So
exactly.
Just kidding.
Who's the one other person? Was it your mom?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. So we have so much to talk about. As I said, this pod could honestly probably be close to 4 to 5 hours if we wanted it to be. We'll try to keep it low to 1 to 1.5 hours. But first and foremost, last week, I got a call from Jimmy Miller saying, dude, MLP fined me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I actually don't even know. They didn't say this was confidential. So maybe I'll get fined again. But basically what happened was I got fined. Okay. So I will own my wrongdoings on certain things. There was something that happened at MLP media days, or excuse me, at MLP owners meetings that was released.
First and foremost, in pickleball, in PPA, in everything, the lines are extremely blurred. No. There's no black and white. Everything crosses over. Everything crosses over.
Yes, everything is wild. I mean, look, let's just call it what it is. We're always transparent here, okay? There's rumors that Samin is still calling the shots for the Aces. I don't know if that's true or not, but I had multiple people tell me that Samin was still calling the shots for the Aces until the Aces get a GM. I don't know. Connor Pardo is the commissioner or the CEO, of pickleball.com or whatever it is of UPA, and he's an owner and also a GM of a team.
Chris Patrick.
He's the deputy commissioner of UPA, and he's also the GM of the Night Owls. Now, they took away his GM title, and now he is the strategic advisor of Racket Sports, which is still the same thing. Samin used to have a podcast when he was a GM of the Aces, right? It's no longer there because nobody watched it, but he did have one. Ryan DeWidgeon is a GM and also has
Jared Paul,
podcast.
Jason
Paul, Jason Aspis ran the kitchen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of crossover, and I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that the
George
lines,
with the Picklr, everything.
Yes, the lines are just very, very blurred.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of how pickleball is. That's just kind of how it works.
Also,
Travis Rettenmeyer, he's an owner and has a podcast too,
and a player,
and he's a player.
Yeah.
So there's just blurred lines everywhere.
And we both, mostly Jimmy, but we both get a lot of information. And contrary to popular belief, we actually don't leak out or put out everything that we hear.
We don't. And I have never, just to be very, very clear, I have never leaked information that I have only received from like a
direct source,
from a MLP email.
Yeah.
Okay. It's always been something that I've received from a third party. I've never once saw an MLP email and been like, hey, and leak this information out.
Yeah.
It's always something I've received beforehand or from a third party. Anything the MLP sends me, I keep completely confidential. But if I do hear it from a third party, or if I hear it from somebody else, I have put it out there before.
Yes, or if it's already out there.
Or if it's already out there, yes. So with that being said, look, I got fined. Something happened at an owner's meeting. I actually talked about it on the...
Can we say the amount?
Well, I mean, sure. The amount, originally they wanted to fine me $100,000.
They wanted to fine you $100,000.
Yes. Yep. And then because they said that's what other sports do. Mm-hmm. I mean, pickleball is not other sports. And then...
Do you have $100,000?
I could maybe come up with it if I really
if you got a bridge loan.
And then I would... yeah, exactly. We got a league that needs bridge loans trying to find me. Now I get it. I get how they're going to make those payments. I could probably come up with it if I really needed to, but then I would go take a second job somewhere. Okay, so then, which also shows how out of touch someone can be to really find someone $100,000. Like, look, dude, you're not dealing with, not everybody in pickleball are billionaires and millionaires, mm-hmm. right? Like that to me is wild. And I know that they're saying it's a team fine, mm-hmm. but at the end of the day, the team didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right. This is my own accountability. I'll own it. So anyways, that owner meeting, something happened. I talked about it. Someone else actually talked about it first. And then I ended up bringing it up. I guess it was top secret. When it does come out, I'll mention what it was, but I promise you that nobody will bat an eye and think it was top secret. In fact, nobody will give a shit. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you. It's literally, everyone's going to be like, cool.
Yeah.
Right. It's not even that, in my opinion. But mm-hmm. again, the person who also has some control over the fines, mm-hmm. it's something to do with them and they want to control the narrative. So whatever. So I own that. I shouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. The second thing was a trade. So there's three things that got me on. Was the trade. The Tyson McGuffin to Arizona trade. Okay. Again, I will not... I actually found out from a couple real media members, which I am not, that I am protected by my First Amendment rights, mm-hmm. That I don't have to ever reveal my sources. And if something is public information, I have every right to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one, somebody reached out to me and they asked if I would essentially break this trade. They had very specific reasons for it. Mm-hmm. And so
wasn't it somebody very close to the situation as well?
Yeah. And they asked me if I would break the trade. And I said, sure. And with that being said, it was never sent to email yet. MLP didn't say, hey, we're releasing this trade at a certain amount of time. Because when a trade comes through, what happens is they send an email to all the teams.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, this trade we're going to announce this publicly at 1 p.m. Central or 1 p.m. Eastern. Right. And that's so that, it's under an embargo and they don't want people to talk about it until then. Well, there had been no email from MLP at all about this trade. And so anyways, but the players had already been alerted. And so anyways, I end up talking about that trade. And then the third thing is the wildest thing in the history of pickleball. And guess what? I will argue this. I understand their reasoning behind it, but I will argue this until
you die.
Till the day that I die. But they had the drop list. Okay, the drop list came out. We did not say anything about the drop list, even though we knew we had talked to enough people that before the drop list was even official, we had it nailed. Mm-hmm. Right? We actually had our entire graphic and list done 2 days before the drops came out. Yeah. And we were dead on with every single one of them. But we waited. So MLP said that there is an embargo on talking about the drop list. And so we're like, okay, cool. We're going to follow the rules.
Yeah.
I'm a rule follower, Tyler.
Yep.
That's what Jimmy's known for. But then we see a video come out from Dave Fleming and Will Doughton that went over the drops. Public video that's posted on MLP's site.
Yep.
That was around 1:30, and they told us that we couldn't talk about the drops till 3. Well, once a public video comes out, naturally you think, oh, okay, we're good to talk about it. A public video has been released.
Yeah.
A video for everybody to see has been released. So we've released our thoughts on the drops.
Yeah.
And I received a message telling me to take it down because we were under an embargo until a certain amount of time and we couldn't talk about it, even though a public video was out. And then a press release came out, which again talked about all of the drops, but we still were not allowed to talk about it until a certain amount of time. So I didn't understand it. I asked them the reasoning behind it. The reasoning behind it is an obvious one if you think about it. They want the clicks.
Yeah, they're trying to grow their social media presence.
They're trying to grow their social. If they're ever going to get a media deal and all these things, they want the clicks. I don't disagree with that 100%. Like I don't. I get it. The problem with it is you have people in pickleball media doing this for free that are literally trying to help you and grow your sport for free. You have guys out there like Eric Tice and Todd Boss. And, you have guys that are literally doing this for pennies because they love the sport. You have other people. I mean, truthfully, I hate to give the guy pub, but you have guys out there like Odoth who's posting your videos, right? And giving you more attention. You have Sorry Not Sorry, who's spending hours and hours editing his videos to give you more attention, right? You have memes. You have all of the other influencers out there that all they're doing is just giving you free attention. And now you're trying to shut those guys out and shut them off. You know how the NBA got so popular?
House of Highlights, baby.
House of Highlights. They let House of Highlights start posting their stuff.
He's got a job at ESPN.
Yeah, Omar now works at ESPN. He runs the Sports Center IG.
Maybe you'll work at MLP.
Yeah, right?
Be commissioner.
Omar runs the Sports Center Instagram account.
Yeah.
Like, that's how these things get popular. That's how they grow. And so to try and cancel
The only thing I'd say with Odoth and Sorry Not Sorry is they're not really helping it grow. They're almost making fun of the players.
Okay, but they're still putting out content for free.
Yes, those other ones I would agree with.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah. Point is there's still content that it's getting clicks and getting views.
Yeah.
And look, when you want news on the NBA, do you go to NBA.com?
There's a variety of sources that I go to.
Exactly.
Yep.
Most people would probably go to ESPN.
Yeah.
They'd probably go to Twitter. Right?
Yeah.
They'd probably go to The Athletic. There's a million other places out there where I don't think many people go exactly to NBA.com or NFL.com or MLB. I don't remember the last time I've been to MLB.com.
Yeah, to me, if they go through with this fine, which it seems like they will. You got the invoice this morning. To me, it really opens the floodgates, literally the floodgates to everything that we've talked about, because what's privy information versus what's not.
Yeah.
What this GM is talking about, is that GM language? Should they be using that type of language? The stuff that they're posting online, Jared in his Facebook group, like, should he be doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think
there's a lot of gray area.
I think it definitely blurs the line, and there's a lot of gray area. I think at the end of the day, what I was told by somebody is that there's been leaks in MLP since the very beginning, even all the way back in like the Zubin days, before I was even involved in MLP. And it's almost like they're trying to send a message and stop the leaks.
So Jimmy is the example.
Yeah, which is fine. Whatever. It is what it is.
Throw that fine on him.
But the problem that I have with it, and again, like I said, I own what I did. Okay. I'm not a guy that's like not going to own and take accountability. I still think that the third thing is stupid after it's already public information.
Yeah.
Especially because, by the way, I waited until the exact time and I tweeted it out and I had 6,000 views in 3 hours, and MLP's Twitter, who tweeted it out 2 hours earlier, had 400.
Well, the thing is, if they're trying to muzzle you, the funny thing is, if you were to resign or quit or anything like that, if they truly think that you're going to stop getting the exact same information, they are very mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is if I resigned as the Black Bears GM, I would break everything as soon as I wanted to, whenever I wanted to. And I promise you that I would get plenty of information before them, and I would get it out well before them.
Yeah.
I feel like as the Black Bears GM, it actually helps them. Like I think that I hold my tongue a lot more, which good
Should
or
we get
bad.
Sameen back on the pod?
But I mean, pod always comes first. I've always said that. So if I end up having to resign as the GM, I have to resign as the GM, and then, the gloves come off, right, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this for hours if we wanted to.
Here's my thing. Like you said, where's the line, right? We literally have an owner of a team talking about a female's body, a female player.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
We have the guy who is signing players to PPA contracts, not Connor Pardo, by the way, signing players PPA contracts, also running a team and negotiating trades. So you know what the draft strategy is. I mean, if that's not the biggest conflict of interest in the history of pickleball, I don't know what is. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's these things are all over the place. And again, like, I guess it's up to MLP. It's their league to figure out what is good for the league and what's not. It's not my league. I don't have anything to do with the league. All I want to do is grow pickleball. All I want to do is have a lot of fun. I love pickleball. I'm always team player.
Yeah.
And I just want to grow the sport. I want to help grow the sport. And look, again, we grew this podcast ourselves and we went and got sponsors ourselves, but we did this podcast at the very beginning for free.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, it cost us money. We literally paid money to start this podcast.
Yeah.
And we did it for free. And yet, like, for some reason, the sport can't accept that that's a good thing. Like, that's actually, like, you're welcome. I don't know. I feel like that's a good thing for the sport.
Agreed. So TBD on exactly what happens. If you can give us a invoice or a receipt of your paid invoice, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We can do it for our thumbnail.
Yeah. Should we?
Or should we do a GoFundMe? I bet we'd get a couple people donating.
GoFundMe.
Put it in the Discord.
Pay Jimmy's fine.
Help pay Jimmy's fine. You and Jilly B could collab.
I wish, yeah. Oh, Jill.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say with that?
What I am curious, now that I think about it, I assume that Jill's wife was also fined for releasing the bridge loan stuff because she is an assistant GM of the Bay Area Breakers. I assume that there was a fine there. I'm being dead serious.
I don't know.
She's a GM of the Breakers.
Yeah. Is she still the GM?
Well, she was. I mean, I feel like that there should have been a massive.
Was Sameen there when that happened?
It was just barely, yeah. I feel like there should have been a massive fine levied when you literally released the financial statements of an entire league in the email. It's not like I'm releasing Q4 earnings of UPA like they did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alrighty. Yeah, so we will keep you updated. But yeah, that came as a big surprise to both of us.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do have advocates in Big Pickle. I'll say that. I don't want to call anybody out, but there are people
that went to bat for you.
That went to bat for me.
That
are good. That are good people that I appreciate. And I'm not saying that anybody has it out for me or anything. They're just doing what they think's best.
I think people do have it out for you.
And I think that there's this weird. Well, the problem is one of the things that was told to me about the people that were complaining about what I was doing were also the people that were sending me information. And so I don't think that they were complaining. So it's like, just be honest with me, be straight up with me, because I will find out the truth, because everybody talks to me. But with that being said, this is my thought on MLP. You have 22 owners. Mm-hmm. You don't own an MLP team unless you've been very, very successful at life, right? Like it just is what it is. Yep. You can't run the team and make enough money unless you've had success. Well, all 22 of these men, women, athletes, celebrities have had success in their own ways and doing things their own ways. And with that comes a little bit of ego. It is what it is. And now you have all 22 of them coming together, and they all have their opinion on how the league should be ran.
Yep. That's what I always go back to. What is pickleball? What do you want it to be?
Yeah. And everybody has a different opinion.
Do you want it to be the WWE? Do you want it to be football? Do you want it to be tennis?
Yeah. And you have people out there who think that, guys like me and all these people I mentioned are great for the sport. And you have guys out there that want it to be tight-lipped and buttoned up and, wear our suits. And
do you own any suits?
Yeah, dude, I actually bought one. Speaking of, remember I had to go to Men's Warehouse that one time?
That did not look good, though.
It looked horrible, but I needed a jacket for that Magic Castle place. And I literally I went to a men's, this is like the start of a joke or something. I went to Chinatown with Richie, Jackie and Jade, Kawamoto, and Tyra to a men's warehouse.
Yeah.
And we walked in to buy a suit. It was the weird. I looked around and thought, this is my life. They all helped me though.
Okay, moving on. So this last week we had MLP Mesa, the Mesa Cup, I think it was called. Beautiful weather. Incredible.
Yeah. Carvana Mesa Cup.
You could not have asked for better conditions. It was like 80 degrees, hardly any wind.
Yeah.
Those are the conditions that make playing outside fun. If you don't have those conditions, then it's not fun. But yeah, Arizona, they always seem to draw really good crowds.
Yeah, look, Jim Kloss is a big old freaking grade A douchebag, but one thing that he is right about is that
his predictions.
No, not that, but Arizona fans come out in full force.
Yeah.
Arizona pickleball fans are top notch. Like they are. They're incredible. The fans there are awesome.
Yeah.
The way that some of those dudes were dressed at center court was wild, but good for them. And there probably should be more tournaments in the Mesa, Phoenix area.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I think on the schedule, as of now, there's only 2 tournaments, which we've already had those 2 in Tucson and Mesa.
Yeah, you got to get rid of the Tucson one. Nobody wants Hep C.
By the way, I had a fan come up to me and said, "Hey, tell Jimmy that Tucson hates him."
Dude, I hate Tucson, so it's okay. Listen, Tucson.
He was dead serious, though.
Tucson.
You disrespected his city.
Tucson, Daytona, and Virginia Beach. Honestly, it'd be too soon if I ever see him again.
He literally came up to me. I was sitting watching a match. He said, "Tell Jimmy Tucson doesn't like him."
Am I not welcome in Tucson? I also hate the Arizona Wildcats. By the way, BYU just beat them. And don't say it was a phantom foul. Okay? Caleb Love is a tool.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't like anything
that MLP fine really got you fired up.
Did you see him chanting the F? They started F the Mormons chant.
I didn't see it, but I saw.
That's such low hanging fruit. Like, this is what I mean. That's like when people make fun of my weight.
Yeah.
Like, let's be creative. Come at me. I'm okay.
What are some creative ones they could come after you for?
Well, I'm not going to give them material.
What, you're a 3-0 when you act like you're 5-0?
Fine. Great.
Is that good?
Yeah. Come at me.
Okay.
Make fun of my serve, or have you seen how
your serve is bad?
I hold my hand up when it's weird. Make fun of that.
Okay. All right. So a lot of headlines. Do you want to go over those or just go through the draws?
Yeah, let's go through the draws, and then as the headlines come up, they'll come up.
Okay.
Let's start with men's singles.
Okay.
Because that one was very dramatic.
Okay.
So I think the big thing with the men's singles, like the actual, let's jump right to Hunter Johnson and Fed.
Okay. Before that, biggest thing.
Oh my gosh, I have a story. Oh,
how many
stories?
Did
you hear? Okay, I might get in trouble for this. I heard this from a third party, so I cannot verify this.
Okay.
Did you hear why Julian pulled out?
Yes, I was going to talk to you about that, but I have not talked to you about it yet.
Okay, I'm going to talk about it. Okay, let's talk about this. So you played Julian in singles.
I did.
Smashed him.
I played the best I've ever played in probably 5 years.
Did you, or was his mind on something else?
No, I played well.
Okay, so Julian, I can't even. Okay, so Julian Arnold, and you correct me if I'm wrong.
I love Julian, by the way. He's
Julian
great.
and Lauren are great. I love them. We're gonna get him on the pod, by the way. We're gonna get him.
Now that you put that out there, you can bash him.
No. We're gonna get him on the pod. Okay, so they bought a cat.
Wait, who told you this?
I can't say, but they bought a cat, a kitten.
Yep.
And it's like some rare kitten. It was like $5,000 or $10,000 is what I heard.
Okay.
It's they probably had it imported from Egypt, some Sphinx or something. Anyways, it's a very rare kitten. So they went to Mesa and they hired a cat sitter. Right? They hired a cat sitter, and they ran like a background check on the cat sitter.
Not good enough.
And they made sure that this cat sitter was the right person for their $5,000 cat. Okay? And I guess she was sending him pictures and updates on the cat and letting him know that the cat was doing great, but they're checking their cameras in their Austin penthouse, their Ring camera and everything. And the cat sitter would leave for like hours and hours at a time. Mm-hmm. And she was wearing like Lauren's clothes and like her jewelry. and would walk out of the house and leave and then come back and like leave the cat alone. And they saw this all on the doorbell camera. And Julian was like, forget this. And Lauren basically said, you're still like, you lost and you're playing with Roscoe. So you're going to lose.
You can't be making fun of this.
No, this is great. And so she sent Julian home. He pulled out early and went home to save the cat from the cat sitter because the cat sitter wasn't doing a good enough job. And clearly she was wearing their stuff and their clothes and who knows what else. So Julian pulled out to rescue his little kitten.
He's a cat savior.
That is the most incredible story. And if it wasn't Julian Arnold and Lauren Stratman, I wouldn't believe it. But I believe every word.
Jim Kloss would have done the same.
He pulled out to save his kitten. What do you think that confrontation was like when he got home? Probably surprised her. She's like laying on their bed, wearing Lauren's robe.
Pushing the...
Yeah, just laying there, kicking her feet up, probably eating on the sofa, had a bowl of ice cream. The cat's probably in its crate, meowing, all sad, and Julian walks in the door. You think she freaked out? Can you imagine? You think he yelled?
I don't know.
Like, how do you confront the cat sitter?
Say, nice leggings. Where'd you get those?
Yeah.
Nice jewelry.
He's
Where'd
like,
you get that?
Take off my wife's shirt right now. Wait, go in the bathroom and take off my wife's shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. So anyways, that's why Julian pulled out.
Yeah. Allegedly.
It has to be true. It has to. It's too good of a story not to be. Allegedly, yes. So singles. Hunter and Fed play.
Fed, still sponsored by Adidas.
Playing with the Yola paddle.
Playing with the Yola paddle.
He released a statement or got interviewed by pickleball.com, I think it was, and basically said that he was told by Adidas until they get his paddle dialed in, he's allowed to use the Yola.
Okay.
Bad look for Adidas?
Horrible.
Great look for Yola.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows Yola's like, oh, look at our paddle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's playing Hunter. He challenges a call. Mm-hmm. Hunter basically, or did Hunter challenge the call?
Hunter challenged the call.
Hunter challenged the call.
Fed called it out.
The referee essentially overturns it. Mm-hmm. Hunter calls for a head ref.
Yeah.
Head ref comes in and gives Hunter the upholds the challenge, or gives Hunter the challenge, the win.
No, they agree with Fed in the first place.
At the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
And then the head ref comes.
Yeah. And they show the replay, and it shows that it's pretty clearly in.
It looked in.
It looks in.
Yeah, it looked like Hunter was right.
Yeah.
And in the end, I feel like they got the call right.
In the end, but that was 25 minutes later.
It was a 99-minute match.
Yeah.
And Fed was sitting there, and he flipped off. He was upset.
Yeah.
The cameraman had a rough week. He got upset. And so, anyways, Hunter ends up winning the match. Mm-hmm. They interviewed Fed. Mm-hmm. And Fed said that basically he doesn't understand why Hunter could call in a second referee, which is weird because that's something Fed's done before.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
And then he made some comment about not being not American. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's not American, it just feels like something he has to live with. Mm-hmm. Feels like maybe he had some racial undertones there. Mm-hmm. Do you think MLP referees are racist?
I'm not touching that. No, they're not.
So, anyways, it was very controversial.
Yeah.
Fed lost. He was pretty pissed. What do you think? Do you think that, like, should the buck stop with the ref that's on the court? Should you be able to call in head ref? Because we saw another match. I believe it was it Tucson where Fed called in the head ref again. We saw a match with Leia and Helena Jansen where Leia called in the head ref and asked for a referee to be removed. We've seen that happen multiple times.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
Where a ref will overturn a player multiple times.
Yeah. And
then the player will ask for the ref to be removed.
Yep.
Have you ever done that?
I have not.
Should you have asked Onisha to be removed in TOC when she called you for foot faults?
For sure.
You should have.
She actually approached me. We talked. Yeah. She's great. We
love
Onisha.
She's from Phoenix.
Yes. Yeah. She lives close by.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Like, is that
They need to get the call right in the first place. I don't know why they upheld his initial call, because on the replay it looked sufficient enough to overturn the call.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why they even upheld it in the first place.
I think had they essentially just overturned it at the beginning.
Exactly. You and I have had that issue.
Yeah, and I don't think Fed would have been as upset because he felt like, oh, you guys said
I'm
I
sure
was
he
good.
still would have been upset, but
But
it wouldn't have taken 30 minutes plus. Then at the end of that whole interaction, Fed calls a medical timeout.
then Fed calls a medical timeout. Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think he was just pissed, and his medical timeout was to get his heart rate down because he was seeing
You couldn't
red.
get your heart rate down for that 30 minutes before?
No, he did it on purpose. 100%. He called the medical timeout on purpose.
All right. Should medical timeouts be fined if they are not truly injured?
Well, I mean, we love to find people, so sure.
Get some in on that real quick.
I mean, I got to think that, like, I don't know what PPA rules are, but I got to think that flipping off a camera or
he was joking around there.
I know, but I'm just saying it's still a gesture.
Sure.
Or looking into a camera like Kate and saying,
That one was messed up because, I mean, the cameraman's just doing its job.
yeah, saying,
Like,
get the
literally.
camera out of my effing face.
Yeah.
I got to think that there's got to be some sort of fines coming for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally just the cameraman's responsibility. And the cameraman doesn't even know necessarily when they're using his footage. He's just going around and getting different stuff, and then they'll toggle between the different videos they have of that.
Yeah, I think the problem with it is that, like, look, as a cameraman, your job is to get those. We want those reactions.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why they mic'd up the benches for a while.
yeah,
And then they got too many reactions, and the players complained.
yeah.
But your job is to get those reactions. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's
All the how many famous things have we caught on camera, right? There's so many things out there where
think of all the things we have not caught on camera.
That's what I'm saying. But how many have we caught? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that's the cameraman's job.
Yeah,
And so, and I get it too. Like, Kate has every right, and she's upset, she's frustrated, she's losing the match, she's not playing well, she's mad, right? She can be frustrated too. She can take out her frustration. The problem is, I think when you say the F word on TV, I think there's like FCC fines or something. I don't know.
yeah.
And so I don't know if there's actual fine. Again, I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if you guys have some sort of set of rules where you're going to get fined. Mm-hmm. I mean, we do have the new targeting rule where if you hit a ball above, which Don Stanley prematurely called on Hayden when he hit Wyatt Stone in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's a $2,500 fine.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are those rules out there, but I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, Ben makes the finals with Hunter.
Ben Johns, who would have thought?
Ben Johns, I don't think that if you predicted that Ben would play in 2 out of 3 finals, would you have had singles as one of them?
Probably not, but it's not that surprising. But
Singles
probably
and men's, though, not mixed.
yeah,
And so Ben ends up beating Hunter 12-10 in game 1. It was a close game, good match. And then he just blasted him in the third, 11-1.
I do think Ben matches up very well with some of those top players like Fed, Hunter, and some of those other players. I think
it's the tennis guys that
I think he struggles a little bit with some of these other players like Kwong, and some of those other players.
Ben is actually 4-0 all time against Hunter.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I'm sure he was satisfied with that final.
Do you know what how wild is this? You know what Ben's win-loss record is in singles?
In his entire career?
In his career.
How many matches has he played?
260.
He's probably 240 in 20 losses or something like that.
230.
230?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
89% win percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, Ben sucks now.
All right. Real quick, we got to give a big shout out to our next sponsor, which is C&D Pickleball Nets. They make the highest quality premium pickleball nets out there. Go to thebestpickleballnets.com and use code KOTC for a discount on your net. They're so good. They make the playing experience even that much better.
Did you see Baylor University Pickleball Club? The courts that Paul Underwood built.
Yeah. Built?
Well, no, but was he the coach?
Yeah.
Anyways, they got custom C&D nets.
Are they yellow?
They're yellow and they have the BU logo. They're freaking sick.
Yeah. So one of the cool things that C&D does is you do have the options to customize whatever you want with the net. So you can do different colors, different designs, whatever you want. But like I said, the best part about these nets is the quality that they are. I promise you, playing with them, you're going to have a better experience than using other nets.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing better. C&D, they've created the best nets out there by far. And everybody, I've never heard somebody get a C&D net and complain. Ever. And I mean that sincerely. So go check them out. Thebestpickleballnets.com. They're one of our longtime sponsors. And, the best podcast supports the best nets and vice versa.
Thank you for the support, C&D. Go check them out. All right, moving on. Women's singles. So this was a little bit surprising. Jimmy?
Yeah, so I'm going to pull up here we go, the full draws here real quick just for fun.
So the match that I think everybody was very surprised with was Brooke Buckner and Annalie Waters.
Yeah, so Brooke Buckner wins game 1, 11-4, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then she is up.
One thing to note, this was the last match of the day.
Yeah.
This was Annalie's third match on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
her third match. Now just in mixed, they played a very casual bronze match.
Hey, there were some epic shots.
If you've seen the videos, it was like 1-0, and it looked like they were just having fun at the park with their buddies.
Yeah.
So Brooke wins game 1, 11-4, and then Brooke goes up in game 2, 9-4. Tyler, 9-4.
Yeah.
And everybody is like, Brooke Buckner is going to unseat Annalie, and Annalie battles back and ends up beating her 11-9, and then wins game 3, 11-5.
Okay.
Heart-wrenching for Brooke. Has to be heart-wrenching.
Yeah, I mean 9-4 is a pretty decent lead, but anything can happen when you're playing against the best.
Yeah, there's a couple other good.
She's using that Agassi paddle from Yola.
Yeah,
and it's got a lot of power.
Yeah, she is. I mean that's a pretty freaking sick paddle.
Okay.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw. Someone sent it to me, and I reposted it, but. Did you see that they were selling delaminated Yolas on eBay?
For a premium or just
$75? Huh. I feel like that's a good deal.
Do they claim it's delam?
It says delam on it. Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like that's a good deal, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
For $75?
Yeah.
Should we buy a couple and delam them and sell them?
Yeah.
Make a little money. Take that racquetball. Didn't Thomas Wilson used to do that?
Something like that.
There's a lot of good women's matches. So Catherine Parento actually lost 11-1 to Angie Walker in game 1, and then came back and won 9-8. Annalie just kind of continues to roll. Kate Fahey and Leah Jansen had a really loud, intense match. I mean, both of them are obviously fiery players. Kate ends up winning 11-7, 11-5. And then Annalie's, I feel like Kate's going to beat Annalie at some point this year. I said that at the end of last year. But Annalie has just been too tough so far.
Yes, but I was thinking the same, but it almost seems like Brooke might have a better chance right now, or a better shot.
It's possible. The other person who's been playing really well is Paris. I think I predicted Paris to make the finals. She lost to Caitlin Christian in 3, 11-8, 12-10, 11-8.
And Caitlin was down big in that game.
Yeah.
She was down. She lost the first game and was down big in the second game, and then came all the way back.
Yeah. I feel like women's singles has starting to catch up with the men, where everything is tough now. I mean, just look at,
to a degree.
To a degree, sure. But let's just look at Paris's road, right? Paris has to play Lauren Hidalgo Smith, who's a newly signed player. And then she has to play Zoe Chow Yi Wang.
Okay.
And then she has to play Caitlin Christian. And then, then it would have been Brooke Buckner, and then it would have been Annalie. I mean, there's no easy road.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Kate Fahey had to go with Marcella Hones, Rafa's girl, Georgia Johnson, Leah Jansen, Annalie Waters. Yep. I mean, those are tough roads, right? I mean, Leah had to play Alex Walker, who's really good, Mari Humberg, and then Kate Fahey. I mean, I think it's getting tougher on the women's side of things.
That's good.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Yeah, we're getting depth. And there's, Jeannie Bouchard is a threat now. She took Caitlin Christian in 3 games, right? Alex Trong and Jeannie Bouchard had an epic match.
Yeah, I saw that.
12-10 in the third.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting harder, and I think that's good for the sport. Yeah. So, but again, Annalie is the GOAT. She picks up the dub. Congrats to her.
Okay. Right. Mixed doubles?
Yeah. Mixed doubles we had upset city, Tyler.
Do you have your bucket hat?
I do not, and I think they look stupid. Just throwing that out there. I think the bucket hats are dumb. But listen, Anna Bright.
Will she come on the pod now that she won?
No,
Wait, no, they didn't win. Well, they had the upset.
She's never going to come on the pod because she's too busy going on everybody else's pod but ours. The girly sweatshirts, cool idea, sold out.
The daddies.
The daddies came back.
Even better.
But I noticed the girlies never liked the daddies' posts and never commented. Do you think that they're upset or there's like copyright infringement?
Who knows?
And do you think the daddies paid $100 for those?
I don't know. They tried to give me one because I'm a dad, but they didn't have my size. So I told them, when you get my size, send me the link and I'll purchase.
Yeah, the girlies didn't have my size either. I tried to buy one.
Yeah.
$98. I was going to buy it.
Yeah.
You know why?
To wear it on the pod?
To wear on the pod, and because my goal this year is to become friends with Rachel. I think Rachel and I would be good friends.
You guys would be great.
I want to become friends with Rachel.
So you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
So MLP BCO.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were there or not. Were you there?
I was a BCO.
Yeah. So we were playing DC.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in the crowd that was nonstop heckling, like straight up heckling.
Yeah.
And our team, our coach, was like getting mad, and they actually wanted this guy thrown out.
Yeah.
Anyways, he continues to heckle. He's making fun of you, making fun of me. He's like making fun of the pod, everything like that. I'm like, who is this guy? And then I keep seeing him at these tournaments. And do you know who it is?
Is it Rachel's dad?
Her boyfriend.
Really?
Rachel's boyfriend.
That's the guy?
I think so.
Her like fiance or whatever.
Yeah.
Really?
I had no idea.
That's interesting because in Washington, D.C., there was that guy that was there front row every day. Remember that guy? And he was front row every day. He got there like an hour early.
Yeah.
And then he was just heckling everybody.
Yeah.
But he loves the pod.
Yeah.
And he was going hard at Rachel. Hard. And her brother and dad, her family was there.
Yeah.
And they were getting pissed. Like they wanted to fight him. Like
Yeah.
her brother, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to. But her brother was like pissed at this guy.
Yeah.
Because he was going so hard at him. Interesting.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. I'm like, I've seen this guy before. And then I had flashbacks. I'm like, oh my gosh, this was the heckler at BCO.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's him.
That's him.
So that's why he doesn't like us. So she doesn't like us, or vice versa.
Vice versa, yeah.
I told you she was from me to you.
Yeah.
When she was about to play Fed, and I was wearing all white. This was at Nationals, and Fed walked up to me and gives me 5. We talk, and she's standing right next to him. And I said, I wore my white to support you and Rachel.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even look, doesn't acknowledge, doesn't. So yeah, she doesn't like me. It is what it is. But I feel like her and I would be good friends if she just get to know me.
You guys would be great.
I think we would.
Okay, mixed doubles.
Very similar personalities.
So the biggest match upset was Ben and Anna Lee.
Yeah, so Ben and Anna Lee get upset by Deckel and Anna Bright.
Yep.
Huge upset. So we've kind of talked about this, but Ben and Anna Lee have not lost since March of 2024. That's so almost a full year. And do you remember who they lost to?
Was it Andre and Anna Bright?
Anna Bright
Yep.
and Andre Deskew.
Yep.
And so Anna Bright and now this time Deckel Barr, who I think a lot of people questioned Anna playing with Deckel. I think a lot of people were kind of questioning that a little bit after the breakup with James. Clearly Anna Bright was the strong one in that relationship as James has just continued to spiral and Anna has continued to have results. But yeah, so they played Ben and Anna Lee. What's crazy is Ben and Anna Lee were rolling. Okay, they played CJ Klinger and Zoe, and they beat them freaking 2-1. They played Hunter and Jade and beat them 8-0. I mean, they were rolling. They played Christian and Tyra, who
had match points on them last time.
Yeah, beat them 2-4.
Yeah.
And then they get to the semis, and they play Anna and Deckel, and it was a great match. And they lose 12-10. 11-7, 11-9.
Yep.
So big win for Anna Bright and Deckel Barr.
Yep.
Knocking off the goats of mixed. And Anna and Deckel had to get through Rachel and Hayden. They had to get through, Rachel and Hayden had to get through Noe and Maggie Brasha. That was another great 3-setter. Noe and Maggie also beat Riley and Leia, which was a great win for them.
Yep.
I feel like Anna and Deckel's road wasn't super difficult. I mean, they played Caitlin.
So Deckel's tough in mixed doubles because he's tall and he's long, and so he has a lot of court he can cover. Yeah. And also the big thing is his serve. A lot of people struggle with it because they're giving him short returns, and then he's able to tee off on that, and then Anna can come in and just kind of crash. I think a lot of people have actually been kind of complaining about his serve recently. Yeah. He's known for teetering the line on legal versus illegal, but most of the time he is legal. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's got a great serve, and so it's not that surprising, to be honest, that they were able to get to the finals. Yeah,
so they end up getting to the final, and they end up playing Georgia and J-Dub. And, you know, I feel like Georgia and J-Dub...
They're solid.
They're solid. I feel like they're a little bit overlooked because they're not flashy. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
But they're always there at the end.
Yeah.
Always, you know, making semis, making finals. And we have a 5-game match. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty freaking epic. But this is how I feel. So when Georgia and J-Dub won a game, they blew them out. Mm-hmm. When Anna and Deckel won a game, it was close. Yep. And I just felt like Georgia and J-Dub would win in the end because, you know, when they just seemed like they were the better team, and Anna and Deckel were expending a lot of energy to scratch out the wins that they did. Yep. So, I mean, if you look at the scores, it was 11-1 for Georgia and J-Dub, 9-11, 11-6, 9-11, 11-4.
Yep.
So congrats to them. Big win. And then what did you think about the bronze match? So Ben and Annalie play Catherine and Fed.
I just saw the highlights from it.
And it just seemed like people were kind of making fun of it because it was like they didn't care. Mm-hmm. Now, we know that if you don't play the bronze now and you pull out, you get fined.
Without a legitimate reason. So Ben did play it. Annalie did play it. They completed their obligations. Mm-hmm. Seemed like Ben was trying some crazy shots. Fed wasn't super interested to be there. Yeah.
Annalie actually went hard.
Yeah.
But it was 11-0, 11-1 for Ben and Annalie in the bronze. So good for them. Big win. But congrats to the Johnsons. Mm-hmm. Julie, congrats. Was Julie there?
No, but his dad was.
Oh. Yeah. What's his dad's name? James?
Is it Jack?
Jack. That's it. Jack Johnson.
No, he's cool. I like him.
Yeah. He's not the singer, though.
When was the last time they've won, the Johnsons? Have they ever won a mixed?
Yeah. Let's see.
It's been a while, right?
It has. It probably has been a while. Yeah, let's see. By the way, that was the first head-to-head match between Deckel, Annalie, and Georgia J-Dub. I mean, Deckel, Anna Bright.
Nice.
Georgia J-Dub. Yeah. Let's see. This is great, by the way. If anybody ever wants stats, pickleball.com.
Pickleball.com.
It is pretty sick.
Okay.
They have 2 golds in mixed.
Awesome. And that's including this one. So they only had one prior to that. One. Okay. Yep. All right, moving on. Women's doubles. But first and foremost, Jimmy, what ball is this?
The Vulcan V Pro Flight Pickleball.
All right. We love it. Go to vulcansportinggoods.com to order yours. This is the official ball of the PPA Tour.
Hairy J-Dub's arms are.
The official ball of the PPA Tour and also MLP. We love it. If you guys are interested in any pickle balls, why don't you guys use the one that the pros are using? And this is it, the V Pro Flight.
Yeah.
Incredible ball.
Play with what the pros are playing with.
Yep, exactly. No issues with the ball at this last tournament. So go check them out. Use code KOTC at vulcansportinggoods.com. It gets you a really good discount, and it also supports us here at KOTC.
Also, vulcansportinggoods.com has lots of other products. Just a heads up, they have some sick backpacks, new colors.
Yep.
They've got grips. They have paddles, obviously. They've got
bags.
Yep. They have chalk. The chalk is amazing.
Yep.
So for those of you that get sweaty hands, so go check them out.
Thank you for supporting this podcast, Vulcan Sporting Goods.
Yes.
Vulcan Sporting Goods.
Vulcan.
Okay, women's doubles.
All right, so women's doubles. It was the usual suspects, Tyler.
Mm-hmm. So before I start, I was talking to Jim Kloss. He was out there. He was out there every single day with his notepad and commentating. Love the guy. I don't know if he's done it yet, but he told me he was going to make or write an article with a prediction saying that Rachel and Anna Bright will never beat Catherine and Annalie again. Did he didn't just say for this year. He said ever.
Did he tell you this before or after the finals?
It was before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he was almost wrong, but he was not.
Well, he's still right.
So
what were your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah. So women's doubles, again, we talked about this in women's singles. It's getting harder and harder, right? I mean, when you have matchups in the round of 16 of Leah Jansen, Vivian David versus Jade and Jackie, you have Lacey Schneeman, Megan Dazan against Lauren and Lina, Elise and Callie against Tina and Kate. Like, these are your round of 16 matches. It's getting harder.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think that's good. I think that's Zoe and Brooke Buckner against Paris and Tyra in the round of 16. Jesse and Coop against Georgia and Glassman. Like, that's your round of 16. Before, you could cruise to the quarters almost. So
almost the semis.
Almost the semis, yeah. Well, at one point you could go 1 and 2 and make the freaking bronze match. So, I think it's awesome. So there was a match real quick. I just want to highlight Tyra and Paris against Georgia and Glassman. 12-10, 14-12, 11-6.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Long match, great gameplay. I mean, like I said, the women's game is getting really good. I mean, Anna Bright and Rachel struggled with Lucy and Etta a little bit, 7 and 9. So, anyways, we get to the finals, and it's who we all expected. It's Anna and Rachel versus Annalie and Catherine. Again, I feel like Anna and Rachel have to play perfect to beat them. Now, I looked it up. Catherine and Annalie are 10 and 3 now, all time against Anna and Rachel.
Seems like they're more than that, but okay.
10 and 3 is what their head-to-head is.
Okay.
And at least on pickleball.com, that's what it says.
Okay.
So in this one, it goes 5. Anna and Rachel win game 1, 11-4. Then they lose 11-9. And what's funny about this is this was the opposite of like the JW Georgia, where Anna and Rachel, when they won, they were winning big. They win 11-4. Then they lose 11-9, but it was close. They're right there. Then they win 11-5. And now you're like, okay, they need to win one more. So then they lose another close one, 11-8. So we go to game 5. It's all set up. It's this epic match. Everyone's fired up. We saw Vegas was a 5-gamer, the one, right? All these 5-gamers. Everybody's fired up. And Catherine and Annalie go up 10-0 in about 3 minutes and end up winning 11-1 and win another gold medal.
Yeah.
And Jim Klaus was right again.
As always, as I predicted.
Do you think Anna and Rachel will never beat Catherine and Annalie again?
Never say never. But it does seem at this moment like it'll be pretty difficult. But
it's always going to be difficult. But the fact is they just took them to 5.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can't beat them, right?
Right.
I mean, they've taken them to 5 3 of the last 5 times.
Yeah, but if you're never converting on those, then.
Well, yeah. I mean that's true, but I mean they if you look at this, they would have been better off playing them in the quarters because they beat them 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I mean, the mindset's different going in 2 out of 3 versus 3 out of 5, but yes.
Sure. But point is, big win. Catherine and Annalie continue. Annalie with no triple crown this time. Yep. She does win it in singles.
That's probably the first time since probably March.
Yeah.
That she hasn't gotten
Well, she didn't play singles she's played all 3.
Played all 3, yeah.
Yeah, so congrats to them. Another dub. I personally am of the opinion, and I'm not just saying this because I want Rachel to be my friend, but I'm personally of the opinion that AB and Rachel are right there, and they're getting better, and they're gonna beat them a couple times this year.
Okay, you're taking the opposite side of Jim Kloss, which is shocking.
Yeah. And then Georgia and Glassman. Glassman wins another medal. That's her second of the year, I think.
Yeah,
second bronze.
Yep.
Congrats to Gloss.
Gloss dog.
And she signed.
Took
a little pay cut, but she signed. Got to eat out a little bit less. Fewer pictures on all her foods, Probably a little less frozen custard, but she signed.
Frozen custard's amazing.
I'm not shocked that you love it.
Men's doubles.
Men's doubles. Tyler.loong for once. Tyler.loong for once on the history of this podcast. We're going to highlight your match.
Wow.
Because let me tell you, I don't care what anybody says. I'm not being biased. For once, people can't be like, oh, you're a Tyler fanboy. He's your buddy, blah, blah, blah. Because that match between you and Connor and Ben and Gabe Tardio was one of the best pickleball matches I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And I don't care. Everybody agrees with me.
Thank you.
So we're going to get right into it.
That guy on Twitter probably doesn't.
Oh, Teal guy? Teal CJS?
Yeah, whoever that is.
Well, he made a comment to Anna Bright about something, and she came at him hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of the trolls. Yeah. But so I was with CG. We played Ben and Gabe in the quarterfinals, which this was our third quarterfinal appearance in our third tournament this year.
Yeah, which is solid. So
we're the quarterfinal jackasses.
If you make the quarters every time you make top 16, you make the finals.
Yeah.
Ideally. But that's also if
everyone's doing the same thing.
Everybody makes the quarters. So you guys play Ben and Gabe. So, I mean, here's the thing about you guys, and we've talked about this before. Jason Peary, your coach, sent you a stat. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if we've actually talked about this, but he sent you a stat, and you and Connor Garnett are the best team in pickleball at scrambling.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you proved it.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense, your guys' defense is unbelievable.
Thank you.
I mean, Ben was hitting overheads at Connor when he was still at the kitchen line, and Connor was digging them. You obviously were getting back, digging balls. You guys, your hands looked amazing. But what I thought was crazy about this match, so it ended up going 13-11 for you guys. Mm-hmm. And then you were up.
We were up 10-9, though, the first game.
Yes. But then the second game, you were up 9.
No, we were always down. We were up big in the beginning, like 4-1 or something like that.
Then you were down, and then you came back.
Yeah.
You're down 9-4.
Yeah.
Then you came back.
Yeah.
Lose 11-9, and then you lose the third game 11-7.
Yeah.
But I would say that 70% of the balls in this match went to Ben Johns and Connor Garnett.
Okay.
They had a cross-court battle. You would stick your paddle in there. There is clear that a lot of things you were working on, you were using in this match.
Uh-huh.
You tried a little friggin' couple two-handed speed ups off the bounce.
Uh-huh.
Put one into the net in game 3.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
I don't think that's embarrassing, but you also...
That's a great time to try it in game 3. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Hey, look, you've been drilling it. Let's do it. But I felt like... And then you and Connor had one... The only other real mistake was he was trying to Ernie off of that drop. He had already done it once.
Yeah.
And you kind of reached in and just a little bit miscommunication.
Yeah.
Ben and Gabe had a lot of that too. But dude, I think it was, how long was the match? Hour and...
It had to be over an hour. I don't know the exact
I think they said an hour and 23 or something.
Yeah.
Just incredible match. Insane defense. But what I loved about it is it wasn't like you guys were sitting there and just, like Hayden and Fed ended up playing...
Ben and Gabe.
No, they played JW and Noe.
Yeah.
And it was literally like 2021 pickleball again, where they were just dinking until someone missed. Mm-hmm. You guys, all of you guys were just pulling, and then you guys would battle, and then you'd then you'd reset, and then you'd pull again. And it was exciting. Like the number of people that text me after that.
Yeah.
I was like a proud big brother.
It was epic. I mean, being there, online is always good, but being there in person, it's just so electrifying and so energetic. And so, I can't tell you, I've had a lot of losses in the semifinals and quarterfinals and everything like that, but I had a lot of people reaching out.
And Ben and Gabe were very complimentary.
Yeah.
Of you and Connor. Gabe said it was the best he's ever seen. He's like, I've played him a lot. That was the best I've seen them play together.
Yeah.
So now, next goal, we got to win those.
Yes.
Now we break through.
Yep.
Right? Like you feel like you're close, right?
Yeah. Like I said, up to this point, we've literally gotten to the quarterfinals in every single tournament this year. I feel like we've got to start winning these and closing on these matches, which I feel like we have the talent to do so. And so, just finally got to get one or two of these wins.
Yeah. So what's crazy is Ben and Gabe go through that tough one, and then they play Pablo and Dylan in the semis, beat them 4-7.
Yep.
Pablo and Dylan beat Ignatowicz and Riley.
Yes. Which there's a previous match, Ignatowicz and Riley against Jaume and Augie, which was a really good match as well. It was a nighttime match. That one was very interesting. I feel like James and Riley got a little bit lucky there, but that was a fun match.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about everything being stacked. That was a round of 16 match.
Yeah, yep.
Like that's just insane for a round of 16.
Yep.
Right? I mean, even like J-Dub and Noe played Eric Onsens and Matt Wright.
That one was a crazy match because I believe Matt and Eric had match points in game 2. They were up 10-6 in game 2, and they ended up losing.
And then they lose 11-0 in game 3.
Yep.
It was like they were out of gas. Like they knew it was done.
Yep.
And then Hayden, how about Hayden and Fed going 3 with Wyatt Stone and Brandon French?
Yeah, I mean, same with Ben Johns. They went 3 with one of these other teams as well. But I mean, most of these teams, they know that they're going to win.
Yeah,
when they want to turn it on, they can.
I mean, Kaysen Campbell and Greg Dow, they took a game off of James and Gabe.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, we get to the finals, and that was the other thing is Daescu and Alshon.
They're looking good.
They're looking really good, and they had a pretty tough road. I mean, they ended up having to play Hunter Johnson. They had to play Nick Black and Eric Paylette. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Southern California, Orange County boys. Mm-hmm. Paylette's a Burbank guy, by the way.
Yep.
And they had to play Hunter and Zane. Then they had to play CJ and Kwong, which, by the way, they won 3-4 over Hunter and Zane, 8-2 over CJ and Kwong, and then they play Hayden and Fed, and they lose game 1. Mm-hmm. Come back and win the next 2, 5-5. And then they play Ben and Gabe in the finals, and it goes 5 again. Mm-hmm. I mean, Championship Sunday was...
They did win the first 2 games, though, and then they lost the next 2. And then
they won 11-5, 11-1.
Yeah.
Then they lose 12-10, so they almost closed it out.
Yeah.
Lose 11-5, then they win 11-7. So big, another gold for Christian.
Yep.
Another gold for Daescu. I mean... And then Pablo and Dylan.
Was Christian doing like a monologue or something at the end of the match?
Yeah, he did some weird thing. And then they interviewed him on pickleball.com. And he said, the guy's kind of cringe.
Dude, he's awesome.
He said, it made me laugh, to be honest with you. He goes, so now that I'm 24, my frontal lobe is only 1 year away from being fully developed. And so I feel like my maturity is almost at its peak. And my brain is pretty close to being fully developed at its peak. And I get it now when as you're older at 24 and you have life experience and you've actually seen stuff in life and you've been through things. Dude, you look at these 19 and 20-year-olds.
He's incredible.
You look at, this is dead serious.
He needs to do some TED Talks.
I'm not joking. He's like, you look at these 19 and 20-year-olds and you're like, yeah, these kids have no idea what they're dealing with. And they have no clue what's going on. But at 24, he's saying, you have real life experience. You've been through stuff. You've dealt with things. You've dealt with adversity. At 24, it's just different.
Was this on court or in the studio?
In the little studio, okay. Yeah. They started doing those pressers again.
Yeah.
Who asked those questions?
I don't know. I never got invited to do one of those.
Yeah. So anyways, his frontal lobe is only a year away from being fully developed.
Yeah.
So good for Christian. I can't even imagine. Once he gets fully developed, that guy's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
So Christian, big dub, men's doubles. Mesa was incredible.
Mesa was epic. Mesa's great.
They do need to bring more tournaments to Mesa.
Yeah.
It was nice too that I got to mute Grandstand all weekend. Never had to watch it. Just muted it.
Real quick, what are your thoughts? So Annalie and Ben, after their loss, they got interviewed, and some people were just saying kind of it was a little bit salty. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, Annalie has never been a good loser. Mm-hmm. The reality, it sounds funny, but the reality is she's never had to learn how to lose because she doesn't lose. Mm-hmm. So she's never been a good loser. We saw the meltdown with Tyra a couple years ago, right? It's something that is brought up often. When she loses to the girlies, she's never super, friendly about it. Anna Bright sent out some tweet about, it seemed like it was a little bit of shade at Annalie. She talked about how excited Georgia was for her to win.
Yeah.
Was Georgia excited for her to win because Georgia didn't have to face Annalie and Ben? She's just never been a great loser. Ben grabbed his bag and started screaming. He yelled something. I don't even know what it was. But I also think that that's okay. we can't bash Ben and Colin for not caring about MLP, right? And then bash them when they care too much about PPA.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. I'm glad that they're competitive. I'm glad that they care. Do I think Annalie can be a little bit of a, sore loser? Sure. But so what? I'm okay. It's not like she said, she made a comment about how she said if they would have played their best, they would have beat them easily or something like that. She said we would have easily beat those guys if we played our best. Mm-hmm. She's right. Mm-hmm. They would have.
Yep.
But they didn't, and they lost. And so it wasn't like she's just young. She's 18. I don't think she was like throwing shade at them. She was just
wait till her frontal fully develops.
Oh man, 6 years from now, she's going to be insane. So, I mean, I just think that, she's not a good loser, and that's okay. And she's competitive, and I don't really have any issue with it. She's not like, pointing at them in the court, and she's not like showing them up. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like it was like a crazy, yeah. But people just look for reasons to pick on other people to get upset about. It's like they need.
Dude, the Facebook forums have been wilding.
Yeah, they're horrible.
The questions that people are asking, the stuff they're saying are just crazy.
Yeah, they just look for reasons to get pissed at these freaking players. And it's like, again, if Annalie was like, oh, well, and walked off the court, then people would be like, she doesn't even care. She's getting paid guaranteed money. She doesn't even care. This is why pickleball is stupid.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they can't win. Sometimes these players can't win. And look, I'm hard on players sometimes. Like I go at Colin all the time and Ben. But like I said, if I'm going to go at Colin and Ben for not caring about MLP, I can't get mad at Ben for caring too much about PPA.
Did you see Colin and AJ?
Yeah.
Their match against Zane Ford and Gabe Joseph?
Yeah. They
were down, somebody said 10-3 in the third game.
12-10
and they came back to win like
or 13-11
or 12-10, yeah.
Also, I heard Zane Ford. I didn't see it, and Roscoe were screaming at each other.
Yeah, they were pretty heated.
Is Zane Ford is it just the name Zane? Like if your name is Zane, you're automatically like you have a screw loose. Zane Affleck, Zane Navertil, Zane Ford.
Yep.
Zane Navertil is the only one that gives Zanes like a decent shot at being like good people.
Okay, anything else with Mesa?
No,
we got Cape Coral, but that's in another week from now, so we'll do a preview for that.
Are you playing in that?
TBD. I don't think so.
It's crazy.
All right, you ready for the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into them. All right, here we go. We'll skip that one. Are Etta and Lucy a good partnership?
Yeah, they're fine. Lucy's a good right sider. She knows her role. She plays her role very, very well. And so, yeah, I think that they're good. I think that Lucy is a solid right side player. And if Etta wants to play left and play big, then they're great together.
What did Ben yell after their mixed doubles loss?
I actually don't know.
Someone needs to do the voiceover and like what is that called? Where they do like the funny.
Yeah, NFL does it.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Somebody said, "Is Fed okay?"
I think Fed's just. I think he's just frustrated with a lot of things. I mean, you gotta admit that like I'm sure he feels stupid or like at least a little not stupid, but maybe like. Embarrassed or dumb or sheepish that he took all this money from Adidas and he hates the paddle or the paddle's not ready. And so now he's using Yola, and I'm sure that he's had tough conversations with Adidas, and everybody's talking about him going back to Yola. Everybody's saying, oh, now that he's playing with Adidas, he's not winning. And there's crazy amount of pressure there. Mm-hmm. And that kind of comes with the territory when you take the money. But yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of frustration from him, right? And he just wants people. The dude had an incredible year last year, and it's like it's all forgotten already.
Yeah, in Spanish they say "ACS." That's like yes. It means I don't even know the.
I thought C was yes.
ACS.
ACS. That means
ACS. So. Like somebody said, "How stupid when AL goes thanking the ref like this great image." It means nothing.
I mean, she's always thanked the refs.
Whenever people win, They're always in a good attitude, a good mood. Whenever people lose, for the most part, there's some players that still act decent, but most people, they're very salty.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's always thanked the ref since she was 14 years old. I mean, very first time I saw her, so just what she does. But, you know, I don't think it's like the worst gesture, and I don't think that it like the refs are like, oh, she always thanks us. We're going to give calls in her favor.
Jack could be in the finals I'm assuming they're talking about Jack Sock. Jack could be in the finals every Sunday with better players. His male partners, friends, stink.
Yeah, but Jack hasn't earned the right to play with better players yet. He tried to play with Tyson. It didn't go well. He played with Catherine.
He played with Tyson?
Remember his very first tournament? Didn't he play with Tyson?
I don't think so.
When he won with Annalie?
Oh, yeah. 2 years ago, year and a half ago.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But they lost the first round, remember?
Yeah, they lost to Roddy. Yeah.
Roddy, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's chosen to play with Roddy and Schick, his buddies. So, yeah, can he probably do better? Yeah, but he hasn't really earned that right to do better. I mean, it's not like him and CJ were dominating in MLP, and CJ's a good player. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and then in mix, he played with Catherine for 6 months.
Yeah.
And they weren't good.
Yeah.
So
CJ not being offensive, I think they're talking about Colin Johns not being offensive equals Tardio being too inconsistent.
Yeah, that's true. Tardio doesn't know his role yet with Ben, and he kind of admitted that he's not sure when to stick his paddle in there. He's not sure when to let Ben take over. I mean, all these things are going to come with time, right? They got to figure that out. Ben moved to Florida for a reason. Mm-hmm. This isn't like a one tournament thing where Ben's going to
ditch
the beaches. This isn't a one tournament thing where Ben's going to ditch Gabe, and they're going to figure it out. Like, he chose this for a reason.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like Dylan, right? Dylan's trying to play left.
Yeah, I heard he's pretty frustrated right now.
Yeah, it's going to take Dylan time.
Yeah.
He's trying to become a left sider. He knows it's 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Before he takes one for,
What's changed such that men's doubles is faster than 2 years ago? Anything besides hot paddles? I would honestly say hot paddles is the number one thing. And then number 2 is just more and more people are playing, especially those with a tennis background come in. And so they like to speed up balls.
Yeah. I mean, and those hot paddles are helping the counters. I mean, look, Deckel is a great player, but Deckel's counters without Yola paddle are different.
Yeah.
They're completely different. And, and it just speeds everything up.
Should players get fined for not trying in the bronze matches? Did you see the mixed one? They should for sure be fined if they're not trying. The only issue is it's very difficult to say, hey, you weren't trying in that match.
Yeah, how are you going to prove that they're not trying? That's the problem. Now, if you could prove it, anyone's not trying, was that the match that you could probably prove it? Yes. But those were some pretty sick shots. That backspin drop by Ben was pretty sick.
What do you guys think is the most valuable event that people care about the most? I think PPA is really trying to make Worlds their most...
Do they mean event, or do they mean like men's, mixed, singles?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think they mean that. Everyone's going to be different. I think men's and women's...
I think gender is the one that matters the most
gender
to people.
Is the one that matters most, yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
But I also think that's because gender has, other than maybe... singles, but gender has the most parity, at least in this lower rounds.
How many championships to lose before Ben swaps out partners?
Dude, I think he's going to commit for the whole year on this. I really do.
Okay.
I'm telling you, dude, they made the finals.
They did, and a lot of people are saying,
they lost in 5.
Colin's feeling vindicated because they didn't win a championship. Well, would Ben and Colin have even gotten to the finals?
Yeah, exactly. They made the finals. He lost in the semis the first time, and then they made the finals.
Yeah.
They got to figure it out. Ben and Colin have 30 years or 25 years of Ben's life together.
Yeah.
Right? They've been playing together for 3, 4, 5 years. Like, these things just take time.
Somebody said, who is the person who loses the most after getting to a game point, and why is it Christian Alshon?
Yeah, because his frontal lobe's not fully developed. Give him one more year.
One more year.
One more year because he does stupid shit. When him and Tyra had freaking match point on Ben and Annalie, and Tyra's playing. She's the best player on the court for the whole match, and then all of a sudden he starts trying to freaking take over to win the match, and he puts 4 in a row, dumps 4 in a row into the net. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, you don't have to be a hero.
Yeah.
Just stick with what's working. Don't change anything.
What do you think James Ignatowicz's issue is? He should be where Big H is right now, but he is not having success.
Yeah, he's not where Big H is because Anna Bright broke up with him, and now Big H slid into his spot. That's why. I think James's issue is, one, I don't think he's healthy. I think he has a bad back.
Okay.
2, he's not playing with he's playing with good mixed partners. Like, he played with Jackie, right? Mm-hmm. He played with Jade. He's getting really good mixed partners, but he's injured, so he's a shell of his former self. Obviously, there's just like, I think that there's a lot of things going on. I think he's actually probably playing too much pickleball. Mm-hmm. I mean, he went on this.
I honestly think that is a case. People can play too much.
Yeah.
They can teach too much. They can play too much.
Yeah, he went on that little world.
With me, I moderate it very.
Yeah, he went on that little world tour where he was literally in a different city every week doing clinics and stuff. I just think that he could have burned himself out.
Okay, a couple more. This is a good question. Did the Ben Johns Tardio partnership live up to the hype?
Yeah, it was good. They made the finals and lost in 5. Mm-hmm. Did anybody expect them to like walk in and just win everything?
I think a lot of people did.
I didn't, but yeah.
All right, everyone asked this question. We'll answer it one more time. In all seriousness, how far is Annalie and Ben making it in men's doubles? So you said round of 32 last time.
Yeah, I think they'd win their first. I think they would beat Greg Dow and Kaysen Campbell.
Why is it always Dow?
Because it's just Dow. And then they would lose.
Dude, Dow was getting animated, and I watched their match. He was doing some C's against.
Really?
Yeah.
So look at Ben. So take out Tardio, plug in Ben. Okay. Mm-hmm. They beat Dow and Campbell. Mm-hmm. Take out Tardio, plug in Annalie. Mm-hmm. They beat Dow and Campbell. Mm-hmm. They lose the Hunter and Zane. Okay. That's what I would say.
Okay. All right, let's see. I think there's 1 or 2 more questions sent to my personal page. Let's see.
You got a personal page? Hello. Let's see.
All right. Somebody said, unsportsmanlike behavior. I'm tired of watching Alshon and Fed and Ben Johns melt down and break paddles and scream at the net or get caught saying F off to the camera person, K. Fahey. It's unprofessional, doesn't rep well to younger players. It needs to stop.
I mean, I think that there's a case to be made for that, sure. But I also think, again, that these are professional athletes that are competitive. And I think if you're around any other sport, I don't care if it's golf, I don't care if it's tennis, I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball. If you're that close to the field of play, you're hearing very similar things, if not worse.
Okay.
And this is their livelihood. And guess what? If contracts go the way that it sounds like contracts are going to go when these are up, and you're essentially eat what you kill coming up, and it's going to go back to, the prize money model. If that is the case, truly the case, you're going to see way more of this because now their livelihood and their money and all that's on the line, which also, if you are going to go to that, then if you're UPA, you got to have everything buttoned up. You got to have the refs buttoned up. You got to have your replay system buttoned up. You got to have all those things in place. But if that's the case, I mean, imagine, you lose 12-10 in the third on an overturned call or on a call, and it's a difference between going from the semis to the finals, and it's a difference of, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah,
you're going to see a lot more of that.
The only thing I'd say to that, which I tweeted out the other day, U of A head coach, he had some comments about the BYU game where at the end of the BYU game, people thought there should have been a foul or there should not have been a foul called. Yeah, and he said, "Hey, listen, it was a bad call, but guess what? We had we gave up 94 points before that. Yeah. This is on us." And so in those specific situations, while that does suck, and I don't condone it by any means. Like, you should be working on your own game. You should be blaming yourself. You should be doing all that you can to not put yourself in those situations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, they always say that it was never one call, one play, like you had the entire 40 minutes in a college basketball game, right? And it doesn't ever come down to one play. Like, what if you made that free throw with 9 minutes left?
Yeah.
Then you're not even in that situation, right? But yeah, I mean, with that being said, there's always something that you can point to, and we all need to take more accountability on things, which again, I am on my fine, but
kind of,
yeah, trying to not be bitter and angry, but I like the competitive nature of the players. I'm glad that the players care.
I love the competitiveness, but when it turns to salty, when it turns to bad attitudes, and they start doing all these
but then maybe
poor sportsman-like things, that is where it bothers me.
But then maybe they
especially when they're so different off the court.
Yeah, but then maybe they need a minute without a camera in their face after the match. But yeah, sure. Like, I mean, look, Kate Fahey, okay, she looked into the camera, and I do think that when women do this, it's exasperated way more than when men do this. Like, when men, it's almost like, oh, it is what it is. But when a woman does it, it gets way more attention.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of wild.
Okay, that's fair.
Because had Fed done this, we would just be like, Fed's pissed again or whatever. But Kate does it and it blows up.
Well, the only thing with Kate is she is dead serious.
No, I know.
She is dead serious.
I know. I'm just saying that. But
if she would have done that, like, jokingly, I think people would have had a totally different take.
I know, but if Christian did it just like Kate, or Ben did it just like Kate, or Tyson,
I think you'd still be seeing very similar feedback, to be honest.
I think it's exaggerated more because it was Kate. But with that being said, because like when Annalise says the F word, it's like freaking Facebook blows up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyways, either way, that's neither here nor there. Look, she's pissed. She's in the middle of a match. They caught her in a bad moment, right?
Yeah.
Does she probably get fined? Does she probably need to be fined or at least warned because that's her first time? Sure. Give her a warning.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But again, I'm glad Kate Fahey cares that much. Yeah. Now, look, she is two different people on and off the court. Like, on the court, she is a cold-blooded, stone-cold killer.
Yeah.
Like, she is different, and some people need that. I used to be a big UFC guy. Like, I watched every single UFC fight. I went to fights. I was a huge UFC guy. And there are guys that have to hate their opponent. Mm-hmm. They just have to hate them.
But pickleball is not UFC.
No. But what I'm saying is they have to hate their opponent to fight them.
Sure.
Pickleball.
So you're saying Kate should wrestle, should fight UFC?
No, I'm saying that Kate is one of those people because she did it with Anna Bright, who was her teammate. She has to, like, not hate her opponent, but she has to feel a certain way during the match.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with that.
That's fine. Yeah. And off the court, she's the sweetest person in the world.
Yeah.
She's great. She's always so nice to me and super kind with fans, and she's clearly friends with everybody.
Yeah.
But on the court, she's just different. And that's just, she flips that switch. And I mean, Kobe was that way. We all talk about Mamba mentality. We all love Kobe, even though he's a rapist. But yet, for whatever reason, right, that everyone wants to back that up. But he was that way. He would always talk about.
To me, he's more hard on himself.
He is, but he would always talk about, Kobe would always talk about how, like, this generation of player, he hates that they're all friends. Mm-hmm. He hates that LeBron and Carmelo and Dwayne Wade are going on the banana boat together. Chris Paul, right?
Yeah.
He would talk about, he hated that.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. MJ hated that, right? All those guys would make fun of that generation because they felt like it was different. And like, you don't fraternize with the enemy.
Yeah.
And that's just a different mentality.
Yeah.
And some players are like that. I think Kate has that mentality.
All right. Last question we'll get to. Isn't Jeannie Bouchard's shirt she has been wearing the last 3 or 4 tournaments illegal? It matches the ball.
It should be.
And why does she keep wearing that color shirt if not to make it hard to see the ball?
I think the players have to complain. I actually had a picture sent to me where Pablo, Ben Williams, actually, buddy Ben, sent a picture of Pablo serving, and you can't even tell he's holding a ball.
Yeah.
Because Jeannie's had to put a jacket on before, and so I don't know what the actual rule is.
Yeah,
but I think that color should be banned.
I will say I don't think singles is as big of a deal as doubles.
Yeah.
And then also the shirt is obviously the biggest issue, but I actually have some shorts that are that exact same color. I don't think shorts are as big of a deal as the shirt is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same color.
Yeah, I think that color needs to be banned. If white paddles are banned,
Yeah.
then the freaking green and yellow shirt's got to be banned.
Yeah.
I also heard championship court was hard to see.
I think it depends on what time of the day you were playing.
Yeah.
My matches were at the nighttime where the sun wasn't reflecting off the bleachers, but if you were in the morning, then the sun does reflect off the bleachers.
Tough.
So. Anything else, Jimmy?
No, long one.
Yeah. So this was action packed. Let us know when you pay that fine. If you need us to start a GoFundMe, let us know.
Should we start a?
I'll give you money if you pay me interest.
Dude, I don't need to borrow money.
Come on. Just pay me interest.
No, I'll probably get another fine after this episode, I'm sure.
Do we need to pay it from the KOTC bank department?
We might. Hey,
bank account?
Listen, I just love pickleball, Tyler, and I just want to see the sport grow, and I want to see the sport succeed. And there's people that are a hell of a lot smarter than me in charge of things, but I think it's also okay that we don't surround ourselves with a bunch of yes men. Mm-hmm. And it's okay when people question some of our decisions, because that helps us grow as people, and that helps us maybe, realize that there's a lot of other opinions out there that could be correct.
Okay. You want to hear something funny? So they're filming like a documentary for pickleball. Oh. And so they're following a couple key players. I think they're following Ben John, Zanoli, I think Xiao Mei. There's a couple other players too. And so when we walked out onto the court to play against Ben, he had like this massive entourage. Like, I kid you not, like 10 to 15 people all filming him, everything like that. They got the audio and stuff like that. And then me and Connor walk out behind him. There's nobody following us.
I mean, I think that's cool. I'm glad they're doing that. But I'm going to be
I was looking around for my entourage.
I'm going to be very honest.
I was looking around, but I couldn't find anybody.
I understand that Ben Johns is the number one men's player, or he's actually not anymore. But I understand all the things about Ben and how, he's the GOAT and he's a great player. But there's zero desire for me to watch a documentary that involves Ben Johns, because he has no personality.
Well, maybe you haven't seen it.
I mean, maybe we will see it, but I don't feel like Ben is like Xiaomei. I get it. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like Ben has this like massive.
But you can't leave Ben out. You can't leave him out.
You can't, but I'm curious how they do it.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell us how Ben and his girlfriend met?
Could be fun.
I mean, I'm being serious. Like, that would maybe create some interest, right?
I mean, he's a savant. He's the smartest guy. He's very analytical,
and he's like you and I.
It's good to have those different types of personalities. You don't want everybody to be a clown or just super
I
energetic.
agree. And like Ben, look, I say hi to Ben, and Ben and I are cool. And Ben, like I said,
not after this one.
We're fine. He is the GOAT. He doesn't even watch. Ben is the GOAT. He is the best pickleball player we have ever seen. And like you said, he is very smart, and he views the world differently than most people.
Yeah.
But I don't think that a day in the life of Ben Johns is going to be super riveting. Mm-hmm. I don't, but maybe it is.
Should we do a day in the life of KOTC? So both of us?
That will not be riveting either, but sure.
It could be. My pickleball
life. We already know your day in the life. You go to the gym.
I run so fast. Actually,
you run super fast.
Actually, I'm doing distance now.
Then you post a boomerang.
No, today was just a picture.
Then you eat some Dippin' Dots. You play some StarCraft.
StarCraft is in the morning.
And then you come home, you hang out with the kids, and you go to bed. Right?
You nailed it.
Riveting.
Yeah. Let's get you to reenact that.
Did you see, by the way...
No, I'm serious. My pickleball life, they want us to do one for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm in. Did you see, by the way, sorry, we're going way up, but did you see so there was during a match, Lane Sleeth and Xiao Mei were watching, and they're like, oh, Xiao Mei and Lane Sleeth. And Xiao Mei, like, it was almost like he knew he was on camera, which there's no way he could have known. And he leans over and he like kisses Lane on the shoulder. And then like they have like, and Mish was like, okay. Like, she didn't know what to say. They caught a little sweet moment between them.
Done.
Lane's taller than him.
How tall is she? 5'9"?
I mean, she could be 5'4". She's probably taller than him. If you're a girl, would you date a short king?
A short king?
Yeah, would you date a guy that's shorter than you?
Why did you say king?
Would you date a guy that's shorter than you? If you're
a guy or a king? Those are two different.
Well, I'm just saying. If you're a girl,
does the king come with the money?
Yeah. If you're a girl, would you date a guy shorter than you?
Hailey Bieber's, she's got to be taller than Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
But Justin's got a lot of
I'm asking,
lot of money.
Yeah, would you?
You gotta.
Would you date, like, or you? Would you date Angel Reese, who's 6?
No.
Because you don't find her attractive.
I won't say it, but
would you date a girl taller than you?
I love everybody, all races, all color, all.
This isn't a racist.
All heights.
This isn't a racial thing. I'm just curious. There's
Everyone.
people that won't do it.
Everyone.
There's people that won't do it.
I see beauty in everything.
I don't believe that. All right, moving on.
If you made it this far, please do us a big favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps this channel grow, which we need.
Yes, please.
For our sponsors and for us to get commission.
Yes.
All right. We will see you guys next time.